is Michael Schenker from the Michael Schenker Fast, and you're listening to the FANTASM Podcast.
You are listening to FANTASM, the podcast that sews horror movies and metal together, with your host, Corey Gorechrist, and Dr. Vincent West. Get your movie collection ready and follow along as they review the latest restoration of cult classic horror films and interview the sickest bands in metal.
Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal!
Broadcasting from an abandoned morgue in an undisclosed location and blood streaming everywhere, this is FANTASM. And now your despicable hosts.
What the fuck is up, and welcome to the FANTASM Podcast. Corey Gorechrist with me, Dr. Vincent West.
Plugging stuff in. What's up? I'm gonna plug you guys in tonight.
Man, it's good to see you out, and we got a hell of an episode for you guys. We have, well, I'll let the doctor introduce our guest here that we got for you. It's amazing.
I recorded actually special intros for this. I don't think I've ever done that before. Founding member of the Scorpions, revolutionized guitar playing for me as a child growing up listening to UFO records with my uncle, and then later Michael Schenker Group, later Macaulay Schenker Group, which is where I was way into the band. Michael Schenker is our guest today on FANTASM, which is fucking awesome.
It is. It's amazing, and such an influential guy and such an amazing guitar player. Just a great all-around dude in general, just as a person. Never let the rock star thing get to his head, and he's totally, that. He's definitely a rock star, but he doesn't act like one. He's a very humble dude, and he just loves playing music, and you need more people like him in this world. So it's a very cool interview, very insightful, and goes through his whole career. And there on the screen there you see editor Chris Barnes, not to be confused with the man Chris Barnes that we've had on here, a FANTASM alumni, and the only legit person that was ever in Cannibal Corpse, besides Paul. But anyway, we got a pretty sick movie for you guys as well. Another Hammer film, a classic.
How many Hammer films have we done on this podcast? So I know we did Dracula, Prince of Darkness.
Yes.
And we did...
Witchfinder General. Was that Hammer?
No, that's not Hammer. That's just a surprise.
We've done an Amicus film, too. We did The Screaming Skull. That was Amicus.
That's an Amicus. Amicus was like the other version of people trying to do Hammer stuff. They've got some good stuff. I like some Hammer stuff.
Well, I don't know. I think we've only done like 2 or 3. We've done... those seven
Golden Vampires.
7 Golden Vampires, and this one.
This one, which is
we're gonna
Horror of Frankenstein.
Shrink from this eye, this all-seeing eye. Hide from these hands, these powerful hands. Run from the horror, the ultimate horror of Frankenstein. Prepare yourself for a new Frankenstein. Searing the screen with excitement. A young Frankenstein, experimenting with the forbidden secret of life itself, molding his most terrifying creation.
We're going to make a person. One of the first things we're going to need is the raw material. But fresh, mind you. Nothing more than 3 days old.
Anything I bring you will be so fresh, get past the government meat inspector.
Alice, she's my housekeeper. I hope she can cook.
People just aren't dying off so quick. It's the welfare state. That's what it is.
Frankenstein is back to raise the dead, to terrorize the living. Hammer, the masters of suspense, offer you a shocking bargain. Your ticket entitles you to be frightened out of your wits. At no extra charge.
Horror of Frankenstein, 1970.
Beautiful fucking print of this.
Jimmy Sangster directed and wrote, I believe. Ralph Bates, who you love.
Dude.
My phone's going fucking batshit right now, making my computer go crazy. And it's based on the characters created by Mary Shelley, of course, being the Frankenstein monster. Frankenstein monster. Yeah, this is really fucking cool. Ralph Bates was cast as Victor Frankenstein, the role having 5 times previously been played by Peter Cushing. So this is the first movie where Victor Frankenstein was not played by Peter Cushing, but from what I understand, from what you've told me, that Ralph Bates is the shit. So
he's great. Look, and I love Peter Cushing. In fact, we were going to do Frankenstein Created Woman, and I decided that this would be a little bit more upbeat.
Yeah. And it's already,
Frankenstein Created Woman, maybe we'll do another time. But
this print looks
slower,
looks really, really good.
Slower film.
Already, it looks. I mean, this is probably the best Hammer print I've seen from Scream Factory, and this is actually one of the newer things to come out, right?
Yeah, and what's interesting about this, all of a sudden out of nowhere, okay, so if you guys are interested in Hammer lore, so Mill Creek owns some of the titles, which is some of the Sony stuff that Sony never wanted to put on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And don't let that shy away from you, because Mill Creek is a really shitty company, but
they got some good stuff.
Well, but they the Hammer stuff they put out all looks good, and I've got a bunch of it. It's all like double feature stuff, and it's not great stuff. It's Columbia stuff. Then Universal put out a Hammer box set of all their stuff they own, or the majority of it. And then this was really interesting. Then Warner Brothers put out a Volume 1, and then after that, ever since, everything else has been like Warner Archive stuff.
Yeah.
Now, what's really interesting, though, is the stuff that fell between the cracks, and this is what's exciting for me as a Hammer horror film fanatic, is Scream Factory is now putting out stuff like this, which has never existed on Blu-ray in this country.
Yeah.
Now, it did in Europe and the UK, because that's where this stuff's based, and
right.
that stuff was going to come out sooner or later.
Wider demand for this over there.
Like right now, in my hand, I've got Horror Frankenstein. Obviously, we're watching it, which came out first. And then on the same day last week, I got Scars of Dracula, which is a Chris Lee Dracula thing, one of the last things he did.
Awesome.
It's in the middle of things that he did, because none of this stuff's been put out in order. And then I got Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, which we were originally going to do, and switch to this. But
he just got fruited. There you go.
What's really cool, though, is a lot of this stuff, I'm actually blown away that Scream Factory's been cranking this stuff out. Now, the disappointing part is they've been putting a lot of titles out, and none of this stuff is cheap.
Yeah.
The only way to get a deal on this stuff is to find a deal on it, because you're not going to find this stuff used. And if you find it used, you're going to find it on like Amazon Marketplace used if you're going to try to find it. Trust me, because I know, because I look for the shit used first. But a lot of this, I just go in and spend like $20 from Amazon when it first comes out. Because if you wait, these titles jump up to like $30.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: this stuff's not going to stay in print very long. Hammer stuff has a cult following, but once the people that we all buy it up, it just kind of sits there and then it goes out of print.
Yeah.
Because on DVD, all this stuff was released by Anchor Bay.
Yeah.
All of it. And my favorite one, of course, is about to come out. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, period Hammer title, The Devil Rides Out, which is something I'm very excited to get my hands on. And, hopefully it looks good like this.
Now that they're distributing it, is it still public domain, or do they own it now?
What, the Hammer stuff?
No, that movie. Because that movie specifically is public domain.
Here's kind of the deal with it. So, a few years ago, there was a movie that came out called The Quiet Ones. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Did you ever see it?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I have not.
That's a Hammer film, modern day Hammer film.
Huh.
So when the company came back, so you've got all these different ledgers. You've got that, which is like the British Hammer company.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got over here, you've got, which by the way, just as a side note on the British Hammer Film Company, they tried to put out some Blu-rays, and they put out Dracula Prince of Darkness, and they put out, which I have, and they put out Frankenstein Created Woman. This is like 3 or 4 years ago. And I bought both of those and immediately went out of print because they couldn't distribute this stuff over here themselves, so it failed. So they got in bed with Scream Factory, so now we're seeing all the Hammer Film Company stuff, titles that they never distributed through Sony / Columbia TriStar, which is all the same fucking company, and then Universal, and then Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers has been releasing all their stuff through Warner Archive, minus that fucking Hammer box set. But if you're an aficionado of this stuff, it's an expensive habit. And not only is it an expensive habit, it's hard to keep up with what the fuck is out there and what isn't. Right. But Scream Factory is putting out all the stuff from the actual British Hammer company. It's all the same stuff, it's just all owned by different people.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Some stuff was distributed by Warner Brothers. Some of their titles were distributed by Universal. Some were distributed by Columbia, which is Sony. And then the rest of it was distributed by themselves, like this title.
They changed hands so many times with all this stuff. And,
Well, back in the day, and if you grew up in... Anyone that's listening to us, by the way, cheers, and I'm not drinking, but cheers anyway, pretend I am. Anyone that grew up in Great Britain, London, France... all that area, you grew up with this shit. This shit was on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Now, over here for me, growing up in Florida, it wasn't easy for me to watch this stuff. But I had an uncle that was really into this stuff, and he would find it on like obscure channels that we had. And I don't mean like HBO and stuff. It'd be on like it'd be on at like noon on a Saturday on some like oddball cable channel. Like a local TV station that was trying to keep this stuff alive.
Yeah.
And luckily, I grew up getting to watch this stuff. Of course, it never looked this good.
Right. Yeah, this is the best Hammer thing they put out.
This stuff will never look this good again. But a lot of the stuff that's out there, there's some beautiful prints of a lot of stuff.
Right.
But yeah, Scream Factory has been... I don't know how they fucking nailed it, but man, I'll give them all the credit in the world, man. It's like my favorite thing that they're doing, besides that Big Trouble in Little China special edition. But,
oh, yeah.
And that Blob special edition. But for me, for my money's worth, the Hammer stuff is it's so cool that they're putting this stuff out because it's really good, and a lot of this stuff, if you had it on DVD from Anchor Bay, this is a huge upgrade. And the extras on it all has that World of Hammer episodes on it, which was a TV show, like documentary style, that was done later during the 80s, I believe, after the movies had ceased production. And I'm rambling about this, I'm sorry, I just know a lot about it. But I love this stuff. I think it's great. It's incredibly entertaining. And it's heavily, heavily, heavily influenced on a lot of directors. I won't name who they are, George Lucas, and anything to do with Star Wars. And, so people can knock it all they want, but this stuff serves its purpose. It's campy, but yet it's dark. It's witty, but yet it's morbid,
if you guys are following along here, if you have the horror of Frankenstein at home and you're listening to us and watching it, we appreciate that. But in this scene, he's digging on Victor is in college and he's hitting up the dean's daughter or whatever. So he just goes into his office and tells the dean that his daughter's pregnant. And he's like, what I want to know is what you plan to do about it. And he's like, well, I have all my medical degrees. I can try to do an operation. Or, who's to say you can't do an operation? It's just fucking stuff like that. It's brilliant writing, and it's really funny. But it's good stuff. And, again, the print's beautiful on this. And
but you have to have an interest in horror. You have to have an interest in
we were talking about this on the Schmear episode, the Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires, which I said all of these films and when they were made, especially the 70s ones, I love the culture of it, and you can see how modern films some of them have drawn.
It's pretty raunchy.
Yeah, it is raunchy. There you go, severed fucking arm. You can't have horror, and especially today with any of it, without having these as a foundation. And I think, these even still, if you're a real horror fan, these don't age really. They just they're just have a really cool culture about them, and they don't seem old. I mean, it's just horror, and it's really good.
If Vincent Price was a horror film company, he would be Hammer.
Yeah,
Hammer is just is all of it good? To me, it is. But
I think so.
I love all of it. I buy every
look
bit
how
of it
beautiful
that I can get my
this
hands
is too.
on. But you have to be careful with it because, like I said, Screen Factory's put a lot of this stuff out, but there's not actually a list of it.
Yeah, you kind of.
I can play on Amazon for like 3 hours and be like, "Shit, I didn't know that was out. Shit, I didn't know this was out."
Yeah,
and I'll find some pieces, and really, Amazon's the best place to buy this stuff, I think. And like I said, especially if you can find one from a third-party seller,
right?
And you can get a really good deal on it, because I've got pretty good deals on everything that I've bought from a third-party seller, so I am not complaining whatsoever.
They got their carriage held up.
None of this stuff that I have a stack of sitting beside me, though, I got it all new, but
right.
But yeah, and this was the first Blu-ray release of this in this country, and it was also, they released this at the end of August. And it's bizarre, they're just kind of dumping all this stuff, I think, out for the fall, was what it feels like. And I could be wrong, but that's what it feels like to me. It feels like they're just kind of dumping everything out. And I'm good with that, it's breaking my bank account, but, I love this stuff, and I like to own it. The next one, and the packaging is very similar to it too, would be Scars of Dracula, which is another one that's kind of a lost Christopher Lee thing.
Yeah.
And between that movie and all the stuff Warner Brothers has put out in the past year, there's a shitload of Chris Lee Dracula movies.
Yeah.
And really good ones too. And even the first one that he did, and
they put out Dracula AD 1972.
It's your favorite? Yeah,
it's my favorite.
Last year. That's a Warner Archive thing. It's beautiful. We should do that actually sometime.
We should for sure.
It's a good one.
I love that one. And the cool thing is in this film, we get you guys unfamiliar with this that are wanting to check this out. Guy by the name of David Prowse plays the monster in this, who did of course, famously went on to be the guy behind the suit of Darth Vader. So that was pretty cool. James Earl Jones just did the voice. David Prowse is the dude that was in the costume, so he was pretty much really Darth Vader with all the movements and everything. And let's see, he had actually gone into the Hammer offices to express his desire to portray one of their movie monsters, but was abruptly dismissed. Several years passed by, and he went about building a larger body of work. He was approached by Jimmy Sangster, the director of this film, about being cast as, Baron Frankenstein's laboratory creation. Prowse has the distinction of being the only actor to have portrayed Frankenstein's monster in more than one Hammer film. So this was the first movie. His second one was Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell, 1974. He played Frankenstein in that film, or the Frankenstein's monster. He also appeared briefly in traditional Frankenstein's monster makeup and costume in a gag appearance in Casino Royale in 1967, which was, the loosely based film about a James Bond novel. It wasn't an actual, technically a James Bond film. But, I don't even think I've seen that Casino Royale, but it's more of like a spoof, isn't it?
It is.
It's like a spoof film. But yeah, it's got a really good cast. Got this super hot chick in this as well. Little Kate O'Mara. That's Alice. And she was 74. She died in 2014. She's in a ton of stuff. And she was in Vampire Lovers, and then this film, Horror Frankenstein. But I guess that was the only 2 films she did, Hammer horror stuff. And she was in the old Doctor Who stuff, 85 and 87. Which is pretty sweet. It's amazing. So yeah, that's the other thing too. None of these actors are just nobodies. I mean, they always had a very prolific career, either before or after they were doing this stuff. A lot of them were pretty good, like play actors and stuff like that. And it's really big over there. That's good stuff. Veronica Carlson's still alive. That's crazy. She was in Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Of course, she's the blonde right here in this scene. So she's been in a ton of horror, Hammer horror stuff. Dennis Price is the grave robber.
I've got the music stuff pulled up here. It's really weird for this year.
And he's in a fucking ton of stuff too. Look at all that shit.
It's really weird.
Helter Skelter, he was Lord Byron. That's from 1949. I mean, this guy was acting forever. And he was just, stage actor. I'm trying to see if he did any other Hammer stuff besides this one, but he's done a ton of other stuff. I can't really see much of it in other years. Several horror movies, including Twins of Evil, Horror Hospital, and Theater of Blood.
Theater of Blood, I've got it.
Yeah. Doesn't say what other Hammer stuff he was in, but of course, Theater of Blood had Vincent Price in it.
What a shock that I am.
Among others. And that's more of like a horror comedy, back then, Theater of Blood. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah. Let's see. One of his last film appearances. This is still David Price, the grave robber in this film. His last appearance was a star-studded version of Alice in Wonderland from 1972. That's the one with Peter Sellers. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's the William Sterling directed Alice in Wonderland film.
You want me to hit everybody with the rock album?
This one's freaking out. Yeah, we should probably get into that.
There's not much on this, if you don't mind me going first just to get it over with.
Yeah, we'll do it. I'll cue up Chuck here if he's gonna not be a pecker like he was last week. But
hopefully not.
Come on, Chuck. Let's get some Altering the Future for you guys up and running. Whenever Chuck decides to come back from the grave here. We'll get it rolling. Come on, Chuck.
Altering the Future.
Thank you, Chuck. And now we can get right to it. Take you back to the year 1970, whenever this film came out.
I don't think we've ever done this.
No, I know we did 71. No, I don't think we've ever done 70.
Well, the music stuff's pretty quick. So we've got David Bowie, The Man Who Sold the World.
Wow.
Hawkwind, self-titled. Mountain Climbing. The band Mountain.
Yeah.
Band called Cactus. I'm not sure what some of this stuff is. This is way before.
That's weird about Mountain. They're from New York.
Easy like Action from Alice Cooper. The Original Human Being from Blue Cheer.
Wow.
Funhouse from The Stooges. The very first UFO album. What a shock.
Badass.
It does not include Michael, of course, but still a band he would later join and change their entire place in music history. Right. Very Easy from Uriah Heep.
Yeah.
The first Black Sabbath and Paranoid.
That's awesome.
Deep Purple in rock. And what the hell? It's not my number one, but none of this stuff is. And then we got Led Zeppelin 3, which is just kind of funny.
It's awesome.
And that's it. That's all I got for you tonight, kids.
In 1970, as far as horror, there was a lot of, quite a few Hammer horror films that were released around this time, not just this one.
Nice. I'd love to hear about all that.
We'll just do some of the big regular movies first.
Oh, okay.
No, there's not many of them. We got Tora, Tora, Tora.
Ha!
Yeah, it's a big one. We got Patton.
Oh, yeah, it's a popular movie.
It is. It's like a, fucking butt critic movie, but it's whatever. It's a good movie. I've seen it before.
George C. Scott.
We got 5 Easy Pieces with Jack Nicholson.
Okay.
Little Big Man, Dustin Hoffman.
Right.
Got 2 Mules for Sister Sarah. It's Clint Eastwood, Shirley MacLaine.
It's a good one.
What else we got? Richard Harris, A Man Called Horse.
Okay.
We got the MASH movie.
Ugh.
I've never seen it.
Can we pause on that a second? I have never, ever liked MASH. I've never liked it, and I don't like the movie. I don't like the concept behind it, and I don't like anything about it. Who wants to watch a World War comedy?
I don't know. I don't see the point of it.
Me either. I always thought they were fucking turds.
Probably the best one out of these normal movies. Oh, we got for your Disney fans, we got the Aristocats.
Is that 1970?
Yeah.
Damn.
Brewster McCloud.
I didn't think that was that fucking old.
Yeah, sure is.
I guess that makes
We got the Cheyenne Social Club. It's old James Stewart and Henry Fonda. So that's The Owl and the Pussycat. That's George Segal and Barbra Streisand. I mean, there's some weird titles here, but they're worth mentioning for sure. See if we got anything else before I get into the real stuff here. I guess the last one I'll do, we got El Topo, which is probably my favorite one. It's Alejandro Jodorowsky's weird Western version of like Sodom and Gomorrah. And of course, Jodorowsky ended up doing films like Holy Mountain, and I think he did Santa Sangre too. So ended up kind of going into a weird realm. Like his films are always very strange. They always remind me of if like Mike Patton just like directed films. That's kind of what it seems like to me.
Gotcha.
But he did Holy Mountain, and then Holy Mountain was totally ripped off by Rob Zombie when he did Lords of Salem. That's a total fucking Holy Mountain ripoff. Doesn't come close though, because Holy Mountain's actually a really good film. But yeah, El Topo, love it. Then we'll move on to the horror of 1970. We got Vampire Lovers, and that has Peter Cushing in it.
Mm-hmm. He does.
He plays as General von Spielsdorf.
Movie,
it also has Kate O'Mara as the governess, who is Alice in this film. So Kate O'Mara. And we got Count Yorga Vampire.
That's a bad movie.
I've never seen that.
I've got it.
It's a weird one. There actually is a film we've done on here. That is on here. I'll get to that. Taste the Blood of Dracula.
Love it.
The Dunwich Horror. We got Mark of the Devil.
Mark of the Devil I own.
We got the old... this is a film by a dude you might know by the name of Dario Argento. It's The Bird with the Crystal Plumage.
Wheelchair Fucker has that movie.
Yeah. It's a Wheelchair Fucker classic. Scream and Scream Again.
I have that.
A Hatchet for the Honeymoon.
I have that.
Blood Mania.
I don't know what that is.
It doesn't seem like anything relevant. Dr. Craig Cooper and nymphomaniac Victoria conspire to kill her sick father for the inheritance. When it is revealed that Victoria's estranged sister Gail is the primary beneficiary of the deceased will, Cooper begins seducing her. Doesn't have anybody. Vicky Peters, Peter Carpenter, whatever. Let's see. And then the main ones here. We actually got some pretty good Japanese stuff at this time too. Fear of the Ghost House, Bloodsuckers. Got old Trog with Joan Crawford. That's more of like a sci-fi, but it's an interesting one. Cry of the Banshee. It's Vincent Price.
I have that.
It's good stuff. And then one that the one that we've done on here. Did I say Scar? We got Scars of Dracula.
Yeah, that just came out. I've got that right over here.
And you also have a different Count Dracula, where Herbert Lom is Van Helsing.
Let me see what that looks like.
And it's got Christopher Lee. It's like that cover thing.
I can't see it.
There it is. Bram Stoker's Count Dracula.
I don't think that exists on Blu-ray.
Probably not. I don't even think it's a Hammer thing.
It doesn't look like a Hammer thing.
But it's still got Christopher Lee.
But it does look cool.
And then the last film, I guess I'll mention, is one we have done, but I don't know if we were doing Altering the Future at the time where we did this, because it's something we added later. But it was our first episode with Matt Harvey on the podcast, and that was I Drink Your Blood. It was 1970. Which that was one of the earlier.
I don't know if we
weren't doing Altering the Future then. So that was cool because I would have remembered this list. I don't think we ever did that, but that's cool.
because I would have remembered.
I think it's the first time
music was very slimmed down.
I think it's the first time we've caught a film we have done, but we haven't done this yet. I thought it was pretty cool. So
did I buy you that for your birthday?
You did.
Yeah, you still have it?
Of course I do.
Cool. That's a very strange movie.
And that's another movie again where Rob Zombie's ripped off a lot of was that film. Down to the music being in his music, like the intro music for that movie. And
isn't it interesting, Corey? How
it rips off a lot of that movie.
Isn't it interesting how people that rip people off love Rob Zombie that rips people off?
I know, right? And I actually met Lynn Lowry and everything. I love her in that film, and that film was fucking filmed in upstate New York, very close to where I used to live, up in Springfield, I think, somewhere over in that area. Which that film is very special, honestly, and I like the old hippie cult stuff. I think it's really neat, and all the whole Manson kind of stuff, and I like the idea and the concept of that. I will say, going back to the horror of Frankenstein...
Charles Manson he's referring to, kids, not Marilyn Manson.
Not Marilyn Manson or Rob Crombie. I'm talking about the real fucking motherfuckers. I will say, going back to our special feature here, Horror of Frankenstein, the women in here are very beautiful. Which, they usually hit or miss some of these older films, but honestly, even going back, we just wrapped up Friday the 13th, by the time you guys hear this, whatever, but, it was yesterday.
I didn't watch one fucking thing.
I had to, and I was trying to get people...
I fell asleep during Frasier on this couch.
I didn't go to bed till like maybe 2 or 3 p.m. because, I work night shifts, so on the weekends I try to keep up that schedule, but I slept till like 9 p.m., being up till 2 p.m., and I stayed, slept all the way till then. I didn't have anybody to watch the movies with, so I started watching them by myself, and, I could entertain myself with those films.
No, I think it's awesome. I want to applaud you for doing it. I think it's awesome.
I always keep up with it every year.
So how many did you watch?
I watched 3.
Movies?
Yeah, I watched part 2 with Fuck Off.
That is Paul Ryan's favorite Friday the 13th.
And as much as I hated the way Steve Dash acted towards me.
He's told you to fuck off.
Yeah, he was like, fuck off. Why don't you fuck off? I still love the Potato Sack Jason. I think it's awesome. And that film is raunchy.
Shout out to Doug Dobbs. That is his favorite Jason.
Yeah, and I actually like some of the counselors in that film. I love Amy Steele in that movie. I think she's great. She survived. She's one of the only people. One of the only people that survives and doesn't fucking get killed off in the next film.
I think I'm the only person that doesn't have a favorite Jason.
Mine's always changed over the years, but
I don't have a favorite one.
The next film I watched is your favorite, is part 4, Big Ted. Then I watched that next, because that one's the goriest one. If it wasn't for part 7 being completely fucking butchered by the MPAA, that would have been one of the goriest films ever made. But it's so horribly just just like mangled, and you can't even fucking watch it really because you can tell how bad it is. And it's not enough to watch
you didn't watch part 6. That's like your.
It's not enough to watch the.
Do you feel guilty that you didn't watch part 6?
I'll get to that. To be able to see even the cutting room floor stuff where you can see the before and after the cut, but the footage just looks so bad you can't even really tell, and a lot of it was just like chopping seconds off of stuff, how long they showed things and all that. But in reality, it was very sad because that film would have been so fucking much more badass, and it's just kind of cheesy the way that it was cut, and it doesn't look right. And we'll never get a director's cut of it because John Carl Buechler's fucking dead now, so we won't get a real cut of that film ever.
That's right, he did die.
Yeah, we won't ever see a very, very good cut of it unless his estate somehow has that print of it. And
I read somewhere.
It's just really
not to interrupt
sad.
you, but I read somewhere that just a brief note for everybody. And I think we talked about this one time when we watched that movie. When I interviewed Kane, that's what we watched, wasn't it? Part 7.
We did part 7 for.
I thought we did it for Kane.
No, we did it for what's his name from Condemned.
Oh, nice. We did for my buddy that used to be in that band.
Yeah. Townsley. Can't remember.
I can't think of his name right now.
Sorry.
Sam. Sorry, Sam. I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway, but that footage, he has it, and Paramount would not release it to a subsidy company like Arrow or Screen
they're
Factory,
just protective of it.
or more importantly, a company like Scorpion that would probably take it and actually lovingly do it like they did.
But their Paramount is still making all the money off of those. Because they
not anymore.
They just won't. Well, yeah, not with that Victor Miller bullshit. But
Victor Miller's wanting to fuck everybody.
They're not trying to make newer versions of these films or even put them out in 4K. They're just keeping it in these cheap ass little 8-pack box sets you can get for $30 at Walmart. I mean, they're just keeping them the same thing, and they're not making better versions of them. But they're also like the main titles. Same thing with Nightmare on Elm Street. They're not gonna. I think they're actually doing a 4K collection of that coming out. But that's also New Line, and if New Line had all the rights to all the Jason films, then they would probably restore them and make them look better. But they just don't. It's like the same shit that's been in circulation for years and years and years. They just put different box art on it. But they haven't really taken care of it. And those films have made so much goddamn money. And they just have no care in the world to take care of them.
They just seem like they're just kind of...
They're just holding on to the fucking name and the 8 films. They're not... the 8 films. They're not giving them to anybody to make them look any better. They're not putting them out in 4K. They're not releasing some kind of anniversary box set. They're just, and that art for that last thing they put out is fucking garbage. Like, it doesn't even look like Jason. It looks like Walmart made like a rip-off version of Jason. They put out a box set of it. But like the artworks just always look the same. It's always like that red cover with Jason on it with like a weapon he doesn't even fucking use. It's like not even a machete. I don't know what the fuck that cover is, but it looks ridiculous. But they've never really ever put out a nice... Besides that steel, that tin thing that you got, that box set's cool. But again, the stuff that they re-release is all that same shit in the box set. Except they actually have, I think, Jason Goes to Hell's in that box set. But other than that, there's not really much different that they've already released and they keep releasing. So it'd be nice to have that kind of stuff. And it would be cool to have a director's cut of Part 7. But... going back to what I watched on Friday the 13th, Part 4 is without a doubt the goriest Jason film they ever put out. It's Tom Savini coming back with the makeup and stuff, so that's another thing. Tom Savini, I think, once he came back to the fold with Friday the 13th.
That's the Love Drive album cover.
Oh, that's awesome. Coast to Coast. I love that cover. You can watch Friday the 13th with this stuff playing over it and fit perfectly. So stream the whole damn thing, we'll get fucking dinged for copyright.
Oh, I'm not.
Yes.
I don't know what this is.
I think our guest played on this. You get much more metal than that. Goddamn awesome.
Childhood hero of mine. It's an amazing thing, and
Michael Schenker, thank you again.
Awesome. You guys are in for a treat. The guy tells his life story in like 50 minutes.
And I was sitting in on the interview. You know, I wanted to really do this for Vincent for his birthday because he's such a huge fan of Michael Schenker. And once I got the word that he was, I'd been asking to get this for a while, but once the label gave me info about his availability. I jumped right at it, and I knew I wanted Vincent to be the one to do it because he's very, huge fan of him. And we didn't have to do much talking because he was very into talking about his celebrated career and his journey, getting to eventually just do his own thing and do Michael Schenker Fest and just have fun playing music, and that's what he really set out to do. And I think when you guys hear the revelation that comes out September 20th on a Nuclear Blast, you guys will really get I love that song. The song's on fucking Detroit Rock City. It's a great movie if you guys have never seen it. From a movie about Kiss that was produced by all the members of Kiss once they reunited. It's just a comedy movie.
We're okay if these are snippets of things.
I don't know.
We're good.
I think they've lifted some stuff on YouTube recently.
I don't know what that is.
But
good luck listening to our long-ass episodes.
They'll find it.
Never. Not with the doctor.
If you guys want more info on the Detroit Rock City thing, if you guys are fans of that, you can listen to my Lynn Shay interview. She is Jam's mom in that, and it's very fucking funny. So we had a good time talking about that. So, but anyway, back to Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th Part 4 is the goriest Friday the 13th movie ever made. It's fucking disgusting. It's Tom Savini. There's a lot of fucking... It's just raunchy. And then I watched Part 5 after that one. Because I love Part 5. The more I watch it, the more I'm like, I don't know why people hate this film. Just because...
It's pretty entertaining.
I love Roy Burns. I think it's cool that they went a different route with it. You do 4 films with the same...
The 50s Greaser kill is my favorite.
Oh, the fucking road flare?
I just think it's awesome.
And then the other one, he gets his throat slit and he gets the horn. He's like,
hey guys, we'll be right back with a commercial break.
Oh, you found it?
No.
It's a different one? Oh, nice.
If you've ever listened to this podcast, if it's on a Sunday when we're recording this gets played. You're all too young to probably know what this is, but my crazy, ever-living, immortal ass knows what it is.
Dr. West.
I love ABC Sunday Night Movie, kids, when I was growing up, was the shit. Most weekends, most Sundays right now, I didn't have cable. I lived with a single mom. And it was like 8 o'clock Sunday night, I had to be in bed by like 10, Usually 9, but my mom, if it was a Bond movie, I got to stay up till like 11 watching that bitch. And they would show that motherfucker. They would show the fucking thing in full, but they'd have like 5,000 commercials on it.
This whole part, they're all,
if I may,
this whole scene, they're all just fucking
cool
tipping back fucking wine bottles. They're just like,
I'll actually play you one of the ads for it. Just to let you know that I'm not making this up. ABC Sunday Night Movie. Hold on. This is actually really cool. I think you'll get a kick out of this.
But yeah, so Part 5, not Jason, it's Roy Burns, the ambulance driver, which is played by Dick Weiland, but the guy behind the mask and doing an actual stunt work in the killings is Tom Morga, who I've met. I haven't met Dick, but I've heard he's really cool too, and he's done some photo ops with the ambulance driver photos, which is pretty nasty.
For you. This is for you. This is for Corey. This is if I could take him back and be little and hang out with me in 1981, even though the movie's from 1979, but it doesn't matter. It's for you. Love you. Here you go.
Nazi rally and violence in Berwyn after the move.
That was interesting. Nazi rally.
That's why it was for me. Here you go, you Jew. Nazi rally after this.
No. I know. Sorry about the audio quality, guys. It's VHS. YouTube, and it is. It's straight up VHS.
It's like I can hear them.
It's cool that somebody has this, though. And it's more love on YouTube.
Moonraker. The Jaws, I fucking love it.
Off on his ultimate trip. Trifle barring your set. It's Bond with a delightful double agent. Roger Moore as James Bond.
Moonraker.
007 in Moonraker.
It's amazing. Love you, Dr. West. Badass. I don't know why, that's just always been my favorite Bond film. And Roger Moore's my favorite Bond. I love Richard Kiel. Fucking Jaws is the shit. I think because it has like a sci-fi space edge to it. And right when I started getting into Bond is right when I got into the
I
first
can't believe the
Star
beginning of
Wars
that feels
film.
like such an asshole. It's like Nazi rally tonight. In
Corey Gorkreis, there's a Nazi rally. More after
Nazi
this.
rally in Portland. Here's Moonraker.
Here's Jew Hunter.
Oh God, that's terrible.
Everyone knows I'm Jewish.
Here it is
It's fine.
again from 1990. It's interesting.
But yeah, I've always loved Moonraker the best. I don't know why it was always my favorite. I'd have to say if I had a second film, it would be Man with the Golden Gun because Christopher Lee's in it and it's badass.
I can't find my favorite, but I love this one. I will play this one for you guys.
Should X-rated videotapes be banned?
Tomorrow at 5.
That one's for you. I had the Nazi rally, and then yours was like, should X-rated videotapes be banned? Ask Dr. West after this.
It is Sunday. We're recording on a Sunday. Michael Schenker's our guest. Horror Frankenstein's on the TV. I'm taking you guys back to 1985 Sunday night movie, and man, this was a treat for me. And it's the movie that follows Corey's favorite. Is it my favorite? I don't really know, but I love this movie.
Although this James Bond film has been edited for television, parents may consider it unsuitable for some young viewers. Parental discretion is advised. Lights.
For your eyes only, darling.
Amazing.
Bond action.
Fucking love that movie.
Bond women.
007, are you there?
And the greatest Bond of them all. Take the mirror. Not that blue.
Not that low.
You bought me that one.
Oh yeah, it's
I love it.
this was nice.
Roger Moore.
Yeah.
Is Agent
You got me the car from that one, too.
Yeah.
For your eyes only.
Amazing.
I'm trying to find
For your eyes only.
that movie has a very special place in my heart. Fun story, kids. I have seen every James Bond film at the theater. This also tells you how fucking old I am. But I have seen, this is the truth, I have seen every James Bond film at the theater, starting with Spy Who Loved Me. That's a lot.
It is.
I can't find an ABC Sunday night movie for my movie, though.
Your favorite Bond? We're still on the
Oh,
Bonds?
I found it.
We're still on the Bonds?
Found it.
It's Bond time.
Although this James Bond film has been edited for television, parents may consider it unsuitable for some young viewers. Parental discretion is advised.
Without looking, yours is a...
Tonight, who are you?
My name is Bond. James Bond.
Seven Times is Forever. Isn't that your favorite?
You should be.
Yep.
Agent 007 is not your average spy.
Thank you very much.
This time he's going to save the world for you. And keep the ladies for himself. Ordinary heroes may come and go.
He just
But
comes.
Bond and diamonds forever.
Bond just comes.
Next.
No ABC Sunday night movie thing. It was kind of depressing. That actually seems older than what that actually was.
I know.
Did you know Vincent Price is in the Ten Commandments?
Is he?
You ever seen that movie? I got drunk and watched that. It actually
We were
freaked me the
talking
fuck
about
out.
that the other
Okay,
day.
I found another one. Let me try this one because that other one sounded like shit. I actually found the real one now. You can always tell because it's got my 80s intro for the Sunday night movie. I'll stop doing this to you guys in a second.
That's weird. All my favorite Bond films are Roger Moore.
I love Roger. I'm not saying that.
But I don't really realize it because I always forget who it is.
I'll explain my obsession with Diamonds Are Forever in a second.
Tonight.
Hi, I'm Plenty.
But of course you are. Sean Connery is at it again.
It's amazing.
You're a terrific guy. A little weird, but a terrific guy.
This time,
It is me.
I just don't enjoy messing around with a guy as tough as James Bond. He's got everybody fooled.
You just killed James Bond.
Is that who it was? There you are, Mr. Bond. James
be a total loss after all. And I saw a picture of him the other day because he just turned like 89. It is so fucking depressing.
True story, though.
How old he is now.
True story.
God.
It is sad. I saw it as well.
Oh.
But I want to tell you guys something. The reason that I love that movie, when my friend Matt,
it's because Doctor,
who I've mentioned on here probably before, I don't know if I have or not, I lost him in 2007 to lymphomatic cancer. When we used to hang out at his apartment when he had lost his job, and it was cool because he lived in like this like very bottom, like cellar dweller, like fucking bottom part of this apartment complex.
Yeah.
And what was so cool about it was he loved smoking weed, and back then I did too, but what was cool about it was one of the only fucking things he had was a VHS copy of Diamonds Are Forever. We must have watched that thing 1,000 fucking times.
Especially Stone.
And I'm
you watch
still
James
not
Bond
fucking
film.
tired of it. But you know what the other one he had? You're going to get a kick out of this. The only other movie that he had was fucking Living Daylights.
Yeah.
Love Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, it's
Timothy Dalton gets a fucking terrible rap from people.
I don't know why.
He's a
License
great
to Kill is
Bond.
amazing.
He's a dude. Living Daylights for me though,
and he's still fucking acting. He's in like a ton of stuff.
He's great.
Prolific TV actor, and he's such a good
awesome.
dude.
But look, I like all the Bonds. I'm not trying to tell you guys what to like. You can like Daniel Craig. You can like whoever you like.
I like George Lazenby. I always like
anybody. Everybody can love whoever they want. But for me, for my money, I met George Lazenby actually.
It's amazing.
But
he came to.
But what I was going to tell you guys is, for me, the Bond stuff, and I mean, I'm not making this up. If I had the time and the Red Bull that I can't drink because I can't have caffeine, I would sit and just watch all of it.
Me too.
Like, I love those movies.
I do. Like, when it's very therapeutic for me, honestly. Like,
they're very relaxing.
One of the things I do.
Are they relaxing for you? It's like getting a back massage.
If I'm by myself, I'll just watch Bond films. I really do. That's not a joke. Like, this was around when the time my life was kind of going to shit. You know, and I kind of had the house to myself a lot. Where, you know, people moved out, stuff like that. I'm not going to get into it on here.
Sure, of course.
I had the house pretty much to myself a lot. It was very empty. I'll just put on one of my Bond films and just hang out in the fucking living room. And I'd space out. I don't even think about it. I'm just watching Bond. You know?
Eat and fucking sleep
and you're just
chill.
You're just not even really thinking about anything. It's I get really sucked into those, so it's a lot of escapism for me watching the Bond films because I just think he's such a cool character, and it almost seems... when I was younger, I always thought James Bond was a real fucking dude, you know. I mean, I did everything. Indiana Jones I thought was real. I thought he was a real adventurer. I thought James Bond was real. And I miss those times because, you know, I kind of hold them dear, and it's the same thing with these Hammer films. You know, you feel like these characters really existed, Van Helsing and all this stuff.
There's so much love put into these productions of this stuff. And, you know, for the Bond movies, you know, all of those movies were shot... give me a second. Pinewood Studios.
Yeah.
And which is the same place they shot the original 3 Star Wars films. Yeah. It's also where they shot...
It's where they shot the new ones, too.
Where they shot Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Not sure about this. I'm pretty sure the second 2 weren't shot there, but I know that one was. And, interesting thing about
this looks beautiful, this scene right here. I mean, this thing hasn't let up at all in the picture. Like, some of these Hammer ones, they kind of go off for a second, but this one's been beautiful the whole time.
Interesting thing for me about if you love movies and you grew up with stuff and they're nostalgia for you, and some people's nostalgia is completely different than others, and I understand that, but for me, nostalgia is a more important thing for me because I think when I'm focused, it's a key to survival.
Yeah, and you know, all this stuff's very nostalgic, and you know, and we got some sensual loving going on here. Probably my favorite chick in these Hammer films. She's fucking gorgeous. I don't know why.
She's got that crazy eye makeup. It's hot.
Yeah, love it. She's like an old whore. It's fucking awesome. She's like, oh, Mr. Frankenstein. You know, whatever.
Now, a lot of people...
I just like the nostalgia feeling of this, and I love the escapism of all this, because it's always in like a good historic period, and the actors are always like top fucking notch.
Isn't it great how these guys are like independently wealthy too? Like they're loaded, but yet they have the goddamn. They've got so much fucking money that they can just keep making this. Like he can hack people up and turn it into a goddamn monster, and then they put it into like, you know, he's got these candles. He's got like a butler and all kinds of fucking shit on here.
Yeah,
it's fucking awesome, man. It's really cool, and you don't expect to see that with a lot of stuff, you know.
Yeah. Well, they put so much detail and coloration, and you know, you get a lot of respect when you go back and watch this stuff, especially restored. How well the direction was at the time of these films.
Oh, it's fucking. It's
like I said, a lot of these actors came from plays and stuff like that. You know, obviously not Broadway there, but you know, it's a lot more like royalty that these people did back then, and where these actors came from. Like they didn't just cast anybody there. All these actors were very well renowned, and these are always ensemble casts, and you know, these are really good performances. You know, especially going to the Bond stuff too, and you know all this shit. And it's absolutely wonderful. And like I said, it holds a test of time because none of these seem aged. None of the Hammer films I've watched are aged at all. And you know, the Bond films especially, those will never age. You know, they're just fucking timeless movies. And the characters themselves live on just because they were fucking badass. And it never mattered Bond to Bond. You know, the character never faltered as far as changing the actors. It was always just great, you know. And even to T-Doll or George Lazenby or even Pierce Brosnan I loved. And Daniel Craig's good in his own way, too. I think he's a good mix of a lot of different, you know, different Bonds together, you know. He reminds me a lot of, you know, Connery and T-Doll put together, I think. But yeah, you know, these are great movies. If you watch Bond or even the Hammer stuff, it's great escapism and just movies to put on and just relax and not be bored, not be stressed. They're just great movies just to fucking watch. And they're you know, they're perfect. And I feel like I'm learning something when I watch these films, or I'm actually getting a sense of culture and like really good acting and performance.
Well, what's funny is somewhere, you know, in California, you know, George Lucas was baked going and watching this stuff going, I'm going to cast him. Yeah. It's just fucking funny. I mean, if you're really into that kind of stuff, so.
Yeah, this is around that time, you know, 77 that they put out fucking A New Hope. I mean, you know, not too long after this, David Prowse made a lot of fucking money. Which I'm sure he did in these films too, but, you know, going from a monster to being Darth Vader, you know, is definitely a game changer. I always respected George Lucas for casting, you know, Peter Cushing and later Christopher Lee, and always having some kind of tie to these films, like a little bit. And I respect when directors want to push their, you know, things that they like into their films, because that's what they should do. It's their film, you know. So I think Tarantino's great. You know, he incorporates all the shit he likes into films. He doesn't just make a film, you know, to make a film. He puts everything he has into it, you know, and that's why I think his films are uniquely made, and he always has a very good soundtrack of stuff that he likes into a film, and it works good. And
I want to apologize.
Yeah.
We had a brief interruption there that about knocked us off key, and I just want to actually I want to address that right now if this will play. This is for Wheelchair Fucker.
God damn.
Jens bought your sex. Now, you guys listening out there at home, just be ready, because if that song comes back on, that means he's somewhere in the room trying not to be noticed.
Yeah.
So if you ever hear that song any more in this episode,
he turns into wheelchair phantom.
We'll just know that he's trying to slip back in and go back upstairs. Yeah, but I'm going to hit him with
it's only 2 a.m. That means he went to go get her some Wendy's.
No, you know what's funny? They probably true story. So wheelchair fucker, after he mounts.
It turns into the
chateau
wheelchair.
No, this is so fucked up. No, listen, this is so bad. Listen to this. No. One time he took the girl that he just mounted to an IHOP. But do you know where he normally takes her?
IHOP.
Do you know where he goes? No, this is bad.
Oh.
He goes to, hold on, let me find my wallet because I don't want to misquote this business. I'll go ahead and give you guys a free Vincent West media plug.
Oh, this is a restaurant?
No. Well, yeah, kind of. But this is actually worse than that. And it makes this story even more degrading and disgusting on him.
What, does he take her to Walmart to get her some fucking...
No, listen, I found it.
Bomb X? I don't know.
This is for real where he takes her. Discount card there. He takes this same girl... When he gets done mounting her, he takes her to fucking Speedway for food.
Oh. Oh my God.
That's where he goes.
Hey, honey, you get your speedy rewards.
And I'll tell you what's really funny. There was a chick he was mounting a long time ago. This is some inside info on wheelchair fucker that I thought was really funny. He literally was just like, so, you want to go over here to... I'm trying to think of what it's called. And he asked me to go there one time, and I was like, dude, are you insane? You didn't just fuck me. I'm not going to go there.
I'm not going to get your fucking...
I'm trying to think of what it's called. It's at Pilot, but it's called something. It's like PBMJ or something. It's like Pilot's Diner.
God.
Come on in. Get a hot shower. Get in bed with a trucker and suck him off. But... Remember that? But, yeah, I can't remember. It's whatever Pilot gas stations call their fucking, their shitty restaurant that's inside some of them. And I'm not talking like a Taco Bell or McDonald's or something. This is actually like their own bullshit.
Yeah, where they have like hot dogs and pizza and stuff.
It's nasty.
It's called a Pilot Heat Lamps Pizza.
But it's called something. It's called like PB&J or something like that. But I just think it's so random. Also, a little fun story about wheelchair fucker. He's also the only person I know Toys R Us doesn't exist anymore. You could leave me in Toys R Us at about any age, and I could stand there for hours.
Me too.
For some reason, I don't know why this is. If you take wheelchair fucker anywhere out in public, he can spend 3 hours in a goddamn gas station, and he doesn't gamble.
Here's a cool thing about Kate O'Mara here. It's obviously not Veronica, that blonde, but the old whore that's pretty hot with the eye makeup. They did a promotional film for You Only Live Twice, and she was Miss Moneypenny's assistant in it, which I think is pretty cool. It was called, to promote the film, Am Productions produced a 1-hour color television program titled Welcome to Japan, Mr. Bond.
That's amazing!
First aired on June 2nd, 1967 in the United States on NBC. Bond regulars Lois Maxwell and Desmond Llewellyn appeared, playing respectively Miss Moneypenny and Q. Kate O'Mara, who's right here, plays Alice in Horror of Frankenstein, appears as Miss Moneypenny's assistant. The program shows clips from You Only Live Twice and then 4 existing Bond films, and contained a storyline of Moneypenny trying to establish the identity of Bond's bride. That's fucking cool. She was actually technically a Bond girl. She was in a Bond film. It's cool. And, yeah, now she's been porking, Victor Frankenstein.
Right.
Or is it Baron Frankenstein?
It's Victor.
But, yeah.
You can call him Baron, though. He goes by
Victor Frankenstein, yeah. Ralph Bates. Kate O'Mara's trying to masturbate. A little about Ralph Bates. I think he was in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, after this film.
I love him.
If I'm not mistaken, but he was in a ton of stuff. He started as actually his first Hammer film. He was Lord Courtly in Taste of Blood of Dracula, as you said. He was pretty much the little
lackey,
right hand man.
He was a lackey. Like Yes Master.
Yeah, Yes Master.
Not really that bad, but
Lust for a Vampire. He was Giles Barton. Then he did the same year Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde, where he was Dr. Henry Jekyll. So he was in a few of those movies. He's got a lot of stuff. Yale Drama School. Doing theater stuff. So yeah, he's pretty prolific actor. And it's just cool, you know. I think this is where he really shined, that was in this role, and it's been a really cool film so far. A lot of drinking, a lot of fucking operations, a lot of blood, and phone's going apeshit again.
That's all recorded on that too.
Yep. Yeah, it's fine. Get some extra sound effects in there. But yeah, like I said, the print's still blowing me away. It has not. You know, sometimes it gets a little grainy in spots on these prints. This film has not done that one time. It's just been perfect the whole time. So they must have really taken care of this one. It has not like spotted up on us at all. Like not one time has it lost coloration or anything. Like the whole film has been just fucking like, crystal clear and perfect. It's honestly blowing me away right now. It just looks really fucking good. And we haven't even got to the meat of this film yet, I don't think. There's still a good bit of film left in this. We haven't even seen the monster yet, so. Oh, there you go. Bye-bye. About to make him right now. Holy shit. Well, he's got the brain ready, so. He's gonna put that in this fucking dude. He's melting, I guess, is what that stuff was. Acid or something. It's fucking nuts. You got these two hot chicks just hanging out. Yeah, this is starting to get raunchy right here. He's doing some open surgery.
Indeed.
But yeah, man, like I said, I love the culture of these films, and you don't even get me talking about Bond. If you guys want to, if you guys have a good phone, you can, and you got space on your phone, you guys can download this free TV streaming app. And it's called Pluto TV. Doesn't have a whole lot to offer on there. It depends on what you like, but it does have a James Bond channel, and it's free. You don't have to sign up for anything. I think there's probably some kind of a premium paid for thing where you can remove ads and stuff. But it does have the first channel that's on there is a 007 Films channel, and that's all they play is James Bond. There's a horror channel, and they have some of the Scream Factory stuff pop up on there that I've seen. And then they have a 80s, it's called 80s Throwback or 80s Nostalgia channel, something like that. 80s Hits, I think. 80s Hits. And the first film I saw on there, we watched it at work, was fucking Terminator. And I was like, you gotta turn this off because I have to watch this whole movie if it comes on. There's fucking Darth Vader getting lifted up here.
Sorry guys, I know David Prowse is about to show up in this movie, but it's time for another commercial break.
Coming soon from Phantasm, a band Corey grew up with that betrayed him. They didn't just betray him, they destroyed him. They destroyed Dr. West too. Coming soon, a video that will shock the death metal community.
Oh my god. Oh, I know what this is.
I come away from LA back to Knoxville. I found out those bright lights ain't where I belong. From a phone booth in the rain.
A Filmed by Dr. Vincent West. A golden shower provided by Corey Gorecross.
I don't even think people need to know what that actually is.
A golden shower video provided by Phantasm. Coming soon with music by Ronald Millsap.
It's yellow before black, guys. Smoky Mountain Rain. We had some good songs before that one too that we were playing.
I don't know, that one's pretty good.
That one's the best one though. It is good. He kind of looks like the Kurgan.
I can't.
Doesn't he look like the Kurgan?
He does. Now, if you guys don't know this, David Prowse is also in Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, he's doing another Hammer thing too. I think he's been in a couple.
Is he?
Well, yeah, he played Dracula. He played Frankenstein again in another film after this one. But I feel like he was in another one. I don't know. We've brought this one up a couple times.
What's interesting to me
without realizing
is...
Yeah, he walks just like Vader. It's crazy.
You know... There's a lot of stuff that's connected to...
Mama.
Our entire fucking... If this thing's not edited for sound quality, it's going to be fucking butchered for copyright infringement. I've done more copyright infringement on this fucking episode enough to fucking land both our butts in jail.
I mean, it's that stuff's on YouTube, so why have we put it on ours?
I didn't do anything. I didn't get any of that off YouTube. I found that's supposed to play my records.
Yeah,
you know, we're in my vault. So, but what I'm saying though is like, I want y'all to. I want you to know that the what I'm now entitling the what I'm calling, this is just a working title, but what I like to call a masterpiece that started around 2017. Conceptual, of course, was by Mr. Gorechrist, but eventually to be filmed by me, live action, and it's a water sports.
Yeah,
but it's right now the working title, so nobody knows what we're referring to, is it's called Buffalo Sprinkler.
Frankenstein, look, he's fucking hacking some dude up in his underwear.
The other working title is New York Urinal Cake.
Yeah. New York Pisser. Fucking pissing. The New York Water Jets.
Yeah. Yep.
Pissing back to life.
Right.
The pissing. I mean, I don't know.
For right now, it's just called Buffalo Golden Shower, but
yeah, it's a working title. But basically, what were we doing that AM Gold shit over it too? Remember we did like fucking Barry Manilow?
I can't remember all the different.
We're doing all kinds of weird shit. We did another pretty damn good one. I can't remember.
Hold on, see if I can.
We were laughing for a good while. Long story short, if you piss Dr. West off, you're definitely going to hear about it. If you piss me off, I'm just going to piss on your fucking CDs and film it.
More or less.
Because I'll just do something else. I'll just kind of humiliate you while also humiliating myself, because I don't have much shame in this world. So, all right, now Frankenstein.
Now this was one of the
Frankenstein. The monster is eating a fucking live ass bird. Just kind of hanging.
This was one of the ones we were going to use. This was a working title for the film. We're
we're going to necessarily use this now, but this is it. Just a snippet.
It's all Neil. I love Neil too. Touching you.
Urine stream.
And just imagine me pissing on the fucking album, like, just all over it. Just within the jewel case, it's just getting fucking peed on.
It's fucking wrong.
In the urinal, just like getting...
Not just that, it was the true horror story of it was that it's a mystery at a fucking Georgia rest stop.
Oh, fuck.
He didn't just get the CD we're not going to reference, but he also got all the sports teams there too.
Yeah. You know, I sure did.
Fucking a Bulldogs jersey, a fucking Braves hat.
Yeah, oh, definitely the Braves hat. I pee on those at least once a week. I can't think of the other song. There's another Rain song. I couldn't think.
Wait, I've got a couple more because I remember a few of them.
Well, you know, we were riding back. This is after the doctor had cursed out some Falcons fan too. That was pretty bad. You were like, I'll never forget this, and I thought Wheelchair Fucker was just going to drive off with
it wasn't Wheelchair Fucker, it was Jason.
Well, no, oh yeah, that's right. That fucking fat prick. Well, anyway, I thought he was just going to fucking take off without you in the car, because I was already in the car. And we had the windows still rolled down, because Jason was actually pretty pissed off, and I had already gotten all my pee out on that record, but, you know, basically this guy was calling us fags or something like that, and, you know, Dr. West doesn't fly that way, so they were talking shit to each other right when he was about to open the door to get back in the car. He was like, you know what? Eat a dick, Chief. Fucking gets to the car. We fucking sped off. Like, oh yeah, you know what? Eat a dick, Chief.
I've said some pretty nasty stuff, because the Falcons had just played the Saints. I'm a Saints fan, but at the time it was just ironic, honestly. It was like a foretold to be soon reality. But what was so funny was he was just like, the guy was like, fuck you, motherfucker, and I was like, why don't you use that Falcons jersey for toilet paper? Why don't you just cut little sleeves off of it? I mean, I was mad.
Here's Colonel Cuckold, and here's
I was pretty pissed.
We need to have a segment right here. It's Hammer Hooters. There's some good ones in this film. Usually the women don't really get me in these Hammer films.
This was another one we did for will just be your untitled motion picture.
My untitled P video. Yeah, this is one of them.
You just have to just imagine a hot urine stream.
Yeah.
I mean, the joke for that, I think we must have played 1,000 songs that night. We should have made a soundtrack for your urine.
I know. Well, we did on the way home.
Well, we did, but we don't remember all of it. But
yeah.
The Smoky Mountain Rim was pretty funny.
That's the best one by far.
You know. It's too bad you can't, pee through the internet. You know, you could pee on lots of stuff you don't like.
Yeah.
I'd pee on this marionette in Ohio, but it's not worth it. I just let you do it.
This one's stupid, but it would have been funny. I don't know.
Is this another one?
This is kind of really dumb, but it'd be funny to. I don't know. I just thought of it.
Just for the peeing?
Yeah, for the peeing.
Okay.
Just because it's retarded. Yeah. It'll actually work.
That's pretty good.
You need these bubblegum pop songs like this, or just straight up weird country stuff. Just play over pissing.
I've got one. Hold on.
Crazy little thing called urine.
I've got one.
Crazy little thing called pee.
I think this one would be really good.
It's just funny.
And I think this one's good.
Oh, I found actually a good one. It's a newer one, but this will work.
Oh, God. That's pretty good. That's not new. That's 80s. Baby.
Yeah.
That's a new joke.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah.
When you put it in those contexts, I've got one. Hold on.
I want to hear this thing actually start.
That's pretty good. I've got you beat though. You ready?
It's all Annie Lennox.
This is seriously perfect.
I do like the Eurythmics.
No, hold on. This is ridiculously perfect. You ready?
Yeah.
So you have to just imagine. I know you guys out there listening, like, what the hell are they doing? But you just have to imagine the thing. You'll see the film one day, but.
Yeah, we'll put it out. We'll make it
this
where you can edit it.
This is seriously fucking hilarious. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
You may wet yourself.
All right.
This is pretty good.
Let's get off to make another.
We never did this when we did it initially. The lyrics even.
Yeah.
Let's get to it. Hold on.
As long as you queef.
The hot string of your pee.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. It's hard to go wrong with classic rock when you're doing a urine stream.
You're pissing on something you used to love.
Right. That's just what you needed.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What's the other one I make fun of all the time? That'll be a good song. It's, damn it. It's one of them. I heard it, some dude playing it in his truck, and I was like, fucking mocked him ever since.
Hold on a minute. I've got one. You're going to think this is funny.
I gotta think of that song first, because I'll forget it.
No, hold on. I've got it.
Oh, yeah. He's loving every minute of it, loving every minute of it.
That one's pretty good, too. Are you ready? This is pretty good.
Yeah.
This might actually be the best one that I've ever come up with for the P. We're probably going to have to use this. Are you ready?
Yeah. That's amazing. Fucking Night Roxbury.
We'll even change the lyrics. This is the night, draining your balls until the morning. Well, not drain your balls.
Smelling my urine now, this is the night. I actually really like that song. Corey Gorechrist has it in his car.
No, Night Roxbury soundtrack's great, but it's funny for you peeing to it.
Here we go, this is a really good one, too. God damn, after this fucking ad. I eat red curry crisp because I'm a fucking pansy.
Ugh. I think we actually did that one.
Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, that's right.
Just guys, just imagine me pissing on a fucking album cover. Whatever one you want it to be. It could be, be anything.
I've got one. Hold on. I think this one this might be
Phantasm.
For me, just because I love it, and I think this is actually
Phantasm.
perfect.
Your video has been flagged for about 100 copyrights.
But this is
all by Neil Diamond and Queen.
This is perfect though for your video. You ready? This is it.
That's a good P stream right there. Anything like this is fucking perfect.
It is. It's good.
Weird science.
Weird urine. Whoa, hold on. No, I've got it. And this goes back to earlier today. You're actually going to think this is hilarious. This seriously may be the best one.
We actually listened to this earlier. Yeah, just fucking hosing it down. Whoa, Corey, pee on your CD. Whoa, Corey, pee on your CD. Pee on your CD, bam-a-lam, urine on your CD, bam-a-lam.
What's really funny, though, for real, that is Wheelchair Fucker's ringtone. I work with this old fuck. He's like, that's amazing. I was like, yeah, it's funny. Either way, there's your old whore again.
She's great. I love her. She was like, I just want you to come take care of me and my kids. I'd be like, alright, that's cool. I can do that. I just want you to come over here and just poke my old cooter, make sure I'm still
Here we go.
alive.
This actually I think would be funny. You want one more?
Yeah. God.
That might be the one.
It's pretty good. Let's see if this was the one I was thinking of. God damn it. What is it with the smart food? It's like, Corey, we know you ate fucking bullshit. Fucking Little Caesars today, so we're gonna play all this fucking healthy food. Fucking
I don't know,
bullshit.
that's weird.
They know how to target me. So I put in a text that I was... Here we go. Imagine, every time we play a song in this episode, just picture me taking a piss everywhere. Or maybe yourself, if you're mad about something, go pee on a fucking football jersey, or pee on one of your movies you don't like.
Oh my god. I've got it beat. Hold on, I've got it beat.
I want to hear the actual chorus, though, because that's my favorite part of it. It's after the rhythm of his piss.
I've got it beat.
Hang on.
Fucking over bars.
Yeah. Is that this rhythm of his
Last
pee?
Dragon, if you guys have ever seen it.
I've seen The Last Dragon, yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. Don't stop. You're in time.
No, it's not that. This is
See, it's Super Freak.
No, it's Super Stream.
Super Stream. Super P. Super P. I think this is one of them we did.
Did I do Rick?
I love Rick James.
Rick James is fucking awesome.
It's good shit. It's good piss, sorry.
We are going to, this episode's going to get flagged, but it's okay. If
If y'all don't tell, we won't, so don't say anything, okay?
Yeah.
As they're listening out there, don't say anything. Unless you're with friends at Phantasm to get fined and flagged, and let's don't do that. And don't be the asshole that listens to this and then flags us.
I have to do this one just because it's awesome, but it's funny too.
Oh my lord.
Caught in my stream. See, I used to love you so much, baby.
How about this? You ready?
Wait. That you're covered in pee.
Doing the King.
Yeah, you got to do the throwback to the King if you're going to do the old stuff. But
I think you should just use this.
This is a comeback song.
No? You know what this is? You're peeing with a full house.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. Hold on, let's do something more upbeat.
If you're gonna go sick.
No, wait a minute. I've got it. Oh, God.
I didn't mean to turn back on Elvis. He said, I can't believe the gallons you're peeing.
Here we go. This is what we're going to have you pee to. You ready?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What the hell? Sorry, I don't know. This guy's added like some kind of video of his bullshit. It's like, I don't care about your bullshit, Chief.
Jesus Christ. Here I got.
Different stroke?
Yeah.
He's got nothing but pee. He's got different strokes.
I got a movie one that'll be good. This one's just fucking weird. God damn it. This is the third food ad. It's like, Corey, you're fucking fat today. Why don't you eat this Himalayan pink salt peanuts?
That's weird.
I was just about to tell you.
God damn it. It's from the actual movie. I don't want to hear that shit. Hang on. Here it is. This is perfect for like a PowerPoint, just like presentation of my fucking dick.
Jerry Maguire?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Bruce Springsteen.
Oh my God.
From Jerry Maguire, the You Complete Me scene. That makes it even more morbid. It's like, you complete me and I'm fucking pissing all over it. He let you in his ears.
I've got that beat, and I think we actually used this before. You ready?
Oh, fuck, yeah.
I think this is the one. I'm stopping after this, because this is my vote.
Alright, we'll run with it.
Sorry, there's some kind of weird input thing. Sorry about that. Sorry.
You're playing fucking Disney. Hit me with your best stream. Peeing away.
I think it's the best one, yeah.
It is. Yeah, Pat Benatar. With a lump in stream. Fuck. He pulled down his dukes. That's a good one.
It is.
Can't go wrong, Pat Benatar.
Has anybody ever listened to Guitar Soldier song? It's actually amazing.
He's a really good guitar player. He's kind of badass.
I missed the whole thing. Sorry. I had a 45 of that when I was little. Anyway.
I'm done making jokes about pee. So we got Frankenstein, and there is Dr. Frankenstein and the monster, the creature of Frankenstein as well.
Well, Neil Giraldo, which is the husband of Pat Benatar.
Oh, is he the guitar player?
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Long-time guitar player. Performed and written, produced for many artists, including Rick Derringer, Rick Springfield,
amazing.
Kenny Loggins, Steve Corbett, Del Lord, Scott Kepner, and Beth Hart, and John Waite.
Love him too.
Got Grammy Awards. Dude's fucking got a very prolific career.
John Waite was in Bad English with members of Journey.
That's awesome. Yeah, people like that don't get any credit.
They did the theme song for Tango and Cash. You get the best
awesome.
of one I got. Anyway,
that's amazing.
It's
yeah, people like that should be recognized more. Not just Pat Benatar, but Neil Giraldo and Monty Pittman that did Madonna stuff. Who was also in Prong, which I would love that.
Yeah, I think they should make police dress like that now. I think they would be more comforting to see.
The bobbies, yeah.
White gloves, everything. I think I'd feel... And I think because those policemen seem like they're smart.
And they're professional.
They're not fat.
And they've had training.
Guns and,
they've had actual training, and they've been around for, they're not just like these fucking dildos and suits that couldn't...
Look at her tits.
I know. I've been looking at them the whole time and saying we should have a segment called Hammer Hooters.
I think it's appropriate.
But like I said, usually I'm not gawking at the Hammer women so much, but this film, these two chicks that are in this movie are just amazing. They're beautiful. You got Veronica right there, and then Kate O'Mara, whatever. It's just beautiful women in this film.
But anyway, if you guys go online and you look and you're interested, and you're maybe not interested in this stuff that Hammer did, maybe you're interested in some of the new stuff they've done. Quiet Ones was one of the first things, if not the first thing.
I didn't know they came back. I remember hearing about it, but I didn't know.
Yeah, they're still putting stuff out.
It's crazy. Now, was that an actual British production and everything?
Yeah.
The Quiet Ones?
Yeah.
I thought it was some kind of an American thing.
No.
But I've never seen it, so.
No. It's all British. I actually saw it at the theater.
Huh.
Saw it at the Dog Theater.
Right.
Down in Tampa. But anyway, what was funny was the interesting thing to me is that they still exist. And so it's kind of crazy. Now, do I like the new stuff like this? Absolutely not. It's two totally different fucking things. But, it's cool that it exists again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just stare into my cleavage, Victor. Go ahead and stare into my cleavage. Pink cleavage.
And this movie, I haven't seen it in years. It looks great.
I'll say that the print has not.
Well, they took care of this stuff. This stuff's pristine. They sat on all this stuff. They didn't just let it go to shit.
Well, some of it, they just couldn't really help damage to it, print damage or anything like that, or just some of the stuff can't be restored. But this one is completely it's perfect. There hasn't been any kind of faltering of the print or anything. It's looked great the entire time we've watched it. It's very impressive. This film. See, even there, you can tell it's kind of grainy in that. No, there it is. It's over. But that's the only thing I've seen.
What a weird ending.
Time. Yeah, there's kind of the body in there.
MGM, look.
Yep. It's crazy.
MGM EMI, which was later would become Capitol Records.
It's amazing. No credits, no nothing. The film just fucking ends right there.
But yeah, we'll get into
I'm trying to get this out of here for wheelchair fucking because I use this.
We'll get into the final thoughts here.
Butt hurt fit.
Get into final thoughts here. Yeah, we got the Tardy brothers. Tardy brothers have been more on point than Chuck lately. Chuck has not been wanting to cooperate as much. So shout out to John and Don. Good job. But yeah, final thoughts. Print is fucking incredible. It's actually one of the more impressive prints I've seen from Scream Factory. Never faulted the whole time. A lot of the older films I've watched, there's still a good bit of it, but this one actually looked really good. Love Ralph Bates' performance. Thought he nailed the Victor Frankenstein role. Actually, I haven't watched a Frankenstein film yet, so that was a really cool first one to do. Again, the eye candy for the women on here were fucking great. So I enjoyed seeing some hot chicks of the Hammer Horror days on here. So that was very nice to look at, you know, and all their outfits and their corset stuff. You know, Veronica Carlson and Kate O'Mara. It was very nice. Dave Prowse, awesome. Seeing David, you know, Darth Vader hack up some people with an axe, that was very nice to watch. And yeah, it was a beautiful film. And again, I don't have a problem with any horror films, or Hammer horror films. I think they're amazing, and they stand the test of time. And people that view them as boring, that they don't appreciate horror, or they don't even like horror, you can stick to your Rob Zombie garbage or your fucking scared, stupid, fucking fake crap, and we'll stick to the real stuff here at Phantasm and do the real stuff. And this is what this is about. It's horror as a whole, not just this new fucking Rob Zombie stuff. And I know Rob Zombie's a fan of a lot of that stuff, and he tries to bring some of it out, and I appreciate that. But you can't make that repeat that stuff. Like, that stuff is always going to be old school, but it doesn't feel like it's something old, and you know, it just feels like it's something you have to fucking watch. It's like I said, like we were getting into it, the Bond films. We talked about this on the Schmear episode of Destruction. They're just timeless, but they're also just essential watching. It's like you're getting an education in horror when you're watching them, and they're something that you have to watch. And it's not like it's forced. It feels great watching it. And same thing with Bond films or whatever. They're not agonizing or boring to watch. They're just fucking good movies. So give them a chance. If you guys don't follow along with us, if you're the kinds of people who just like to listen to us while you're at work, that's awesome. But highly recommend. And also, me being a younger guy too, they're fucking awesome movies. So just start watching the 70s Hammer stuff, or even, you know, late 60s stuff. They're fucking awesome movies. You know, get an appreciation and get out of your they're old, they're boring kind of stuff. Like, they're not black and white. They look perfect. It's a perfect time to watch them because they're actually restored now, so you can watch them on a Blu-ray player. They look brand new, you know, and they're a good piece of historical film and great acting. And, you know, there's early gore, and there's a lot of kind of, you know, mutilations and killings and blood. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stuff in it. So yeah, definitely highly recommended from the Gore Christ here.
I mean, for me, I just have to say the machines rose from the ashes of the nuclear fire. Their war to exterminate mankind has raged for decades. But the final battle would be not fought in the future. It would be fought here tonight in our present tonight.
Yeah, we're going to nerd out on this because this is my second favorite movie of all time. So, but yeah, guys, amazing stuff. Love it. We have Michael Schenker on the podcast. It's absolutely fucking amazing that he came on and Dr. West got to speak with him, and we're so happy about it. And you got
it's a very lengthy interview, and he covers a lot of ground.
New Michael Schenker Fest comes out September 20th. Revelation. It's on Nuclear Blast Records. You got a lot of really good talent on that CD, and he did an amazing job with all the people that are involved in it. And I think
cover art's badass.
Yeah, and if you listen to the interview or you read a lot of other interviews with him, he talks about what the symbolism for the cover means, and he is not being crucified in it. He will talk about what it actually is. So it has a lot to do with the actual title, Revelation, and I think it's beautiful, very symbolic, and very means a lot to him too. So definitely, you know, just enjoy it and pick the album up and support Michael Schenker, because he's one of the, you know, actual rock stars that exist that don't treat other people like shit. So very good guy. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. I'm here at Phantasm.
One more thing from me.
We love you guys, Doctor.
To quote Fletch Lives, don't bother me, I'm trying to watch The Terminator. Michael Schenker, thank you, sir.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing, and we'll let you guys hear that now. And from us at Phantasm here, stay fucking gore.
You can leave a light on if you're afraid of the dark. Sleeping with the light on to fight back the night is sometimes hard. You can leave a light on
I'm so excited. This is Dr. Vincent West. I have one of my childhood heroes on today. We're with the legendary guitarist Michael Schenker. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Wow, so excited to have you on. This is an absolute honor, sir. And we're going to get into all things Michael Schenker today. And your new album, Michael Schenker Fest, is available now, Revelations, through Nuclear Blast Records. And, I guess to jump right in for our fans and for me, if you'd like to talk about just the beginnings of your career for us.
You mean like from 0 years onwards?
Oh, if you want to start with like with you and Rudolph starting the Scorpions, would be amazing if you don't care.
No, I started on cooking pots, and I was singing when I was 3, and I was playing a little bit, on my piano, on my mom's little piano, or my dad's little violin, and then one day there was a guitar in our bedroom, and that's when I started to immediately identify, that the notes, and especially, we were listening to pop music on the radio, the hit parade, and we had the whole room was full of pictures Rudolph put on the wall from famous people, Elvis Presley, Beatles, and Rolling Stones, and so I was, of course, very interested in the guitar, more than the piano or the violin. And but I put one note in the next note and the third note, and I went like, wow, this is fun. And it started right there. I never stopped, and just Rudolph was always very amazed whenever he came back from work, how much I progressed, and and basically I was just a kid in a sandbox, having fun. I never looked for anything. I never competed with anybody. I never looked for fame or success or anything. I was just like, all that time, from 9 years on, when I started playing, I was just a kid in a sandbox. And then all of a sudden, when I reached the Strangers in the Night, all of a sudden people started saying, Michael Schenker is God. I said, what? And I went like, wait a minute, what have I done? And then Rudolph called me in an 81 from America and said, hey Michael, they're all playing your guitar style. I said, what? And so I was really, I was kind of not really paying any attention. I was always enjoying touring around, like being creating the Scorpions logo for our big tour bus. We had a 20 cabinets PA, and looking for rehearsal rooms, getting mattresses from hospitals and putting them on the wall, or putting divider, nailing wood on to make a separate room. I was always into anything to do with rehearsal, get something together so we can rehearse, I was always there. But, and so basically my first years, I really unconsciously created something. I really don't know what I did. I know what I did. I know that what I intuitively understood was that, when I was 17 years old, I stopped listening to other guitarists and copying them, and music in general. I stopped listening to music because the brain is a sponge, and what I wanted to do, I didn't want to copy people because they were already doing what they were doing. Why should I do it too? And
right.
So I knew that everybody is unique, and if everybody is unique and I open myself up, I obviously gonna bring something to the foreground that nobody knows about because it's hidden inside myself. So I understood that, and I did, on a regular basis, continue to putting notes together in my own way and stuff. And as a byproduct, I created my own style. And I think, I heard people saying like that. Some of the fans that now, in big bands like Slash and so on, they said that they never heard anything like that, and of course they couldn't, because it all came from the uniqueness inside my head, and by protecting myself, not listening to music and not copying music, You can't do it perfectly, of course, you know. But I mean, I was in a boutique in France, you know, trying clothes on, and they played the whole Metallica album, and that's where I learned The Unforgiven. I found out how beautiful that song The Unforgiven was. And, lovely music, but I never have on the radio, in the car, or at home, and so I have done this for half a century almost, and I really well protected myself. You know, the brain is a sponge that takes anything, and it copies everything. I mean, if you know, you don't even know. I mean, if you don't protect yourself, you will automatically become a victim of doing somebody else's stuff. And so I was very, very focused on pure self-expression, you know, and I was fascinated with a single string, and I was, very, very much in love with Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and Deep Purple. Metal music, that was for me metal music.
Right.
The beginning of metal music, and that's when it really clicked for me. You know, by that time I already played, 4 or 5 years, and so I kind of decided to use metal music, that kind of style, instead of pop music or jazz music. I wanted that, metal music, heavy sounding, and especially with distortion, it was like a combination of, with a single string playing lead guitar. It's like endless possibilities, And so I used the metal as my screen to paint my pure self-expression as a lead guitar player, single notes onto it, like a paintbrush, having a screen and then we paint the picture. My lead guitar playing is the brush and painting on that screen of metal, and so that's what I did, and so I wrote my first song when I was when I was 15 years old in my mother's kitchen. Nobody was there. I was all by myself, and the Scorpions credited themselves for that song. It was my first written song. It was a very nice song, actually. I don't even think Rudolph can play that song because it's not that simple. Second time round, and and so it got the title "In Search of Peace of Mind." And I have 2 tattoos on my neck. One says "Born to be Free," Born to Overcome, and one says "Born to be Free." But I'll get to that later. But and so it was my first song, and there I played the solo as a 15-year-old. I have no idea where it came from, but there's nothing wrong with it. Just like I, found that the theme of the Imaginary Western from Leslie West, that solo is so beautiful. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
I heard that by accident the other day, and I said, "The timeless, it will never die." And I did a solo as a 15-year-old on that song, "In Search of Peace of Mind." I don't know if that was me or where that came from, because the rest of the solo playing is very underdeveloped, I mean, you can hear I'm learning. But that song, I mean, that piece of music, that piece of solo, I have no idea how I did that. And I tried to, to copy it, because I might be playing it in 2020, my 50th anniversary, and it's actually timing-wise, like really, 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 really difficult to capture it. And so it's quite amazing that where does that come from, though? Anyway, and so I enjoyed my development going, through the phenomenon for No Heavy Petting, going through Lights Out, and Obsession, and Strangers in the Night, and then helped the Scorpions with the Left Right album open the doors for America for them.
Right.
And then basically, I kind of, when I wrote, when I was 21 in 76, I wrote Lights Out, and it became the first hit for UFO in America. And I got scared. I ran away. I thought, now I'm not the kid in the sandbox anymore. Now people will expect it. And so, but I came back and lasted until Strangers in the Night. And then I helped the Scorpions, and then I decided to go my own way. To actually to stay true to myself. And actually, the main thing was that was the first part of my life the first chapter. That was also my first part of the development as a guitarist. And by that time, I'm very grateful for actually was allowed to experience a fame that early in life, so that I was able to make a decision if I wanted to stay in the lane of fame or if I wanted to, be an artist and experiment with music and focus on life itself, learn about life, learn about myself. Who am I? I had no clue who I was in the first part of my life. I didn't know what happened, and so I used the middle years to experiment with music and everything out of my system, do all the things I couldn't have done with Ozzy. He would have never earned a penny if I would have joined him. I would have not been of any use for him, and not even for the Scorpions or UFO, because I was in experimental stage. I was doing acoustic instrumental, I was doing the electric instrumentals, I was doing, I was playing a whole album, going from one riff to another, never stopped. I could have made 5 albums out of it, and I was so full of creativity. I had to get all of that out, and on top of it, I did a lot of learning and spent most of the learning times. When I actually, it wasn't that easy for me to drop out of the spotlight straight away, because Peter Mensch was waiting for me, and he wanted to do big business with me. And but at least I got the Michael Schenker group going, my own name.
Right.
So I had more control on protecting myself and being able to do what I wanted to do, and have actually fun. Looking for an unknown singer, easygoing guy, Gary Barnes, great voice, and so off we went. Then Peter Mensch wanted David Coverdale, and I said, why don't you ask Coverdale to join on the G or whatever, But the whole point, it was a contradiction at that point, because I left UFO and the Scorpions. The Scorpions actually was another, also a weird story, because the Scorpions asked me to help them because they got stuck with the Love Tribe album.
Right.
And Matthias couldn't, they only got halfway through, and so I agreed to do it, but I wanted to be contracted. I wanted to be a fixed member of the band for the Love Tribe album, not with a band, just for that album.
Right.
Because I had no intention of joining them, and so I got that contract. But then I realized that they wanted to keep me because America was getting excited, and for the Scorpions, who never went to America, and they were, by that time, they were already aged 33 years old. I went to America when I was 19, and, I wrote Lights Out in 76, and they wrote Love Drive in 78, which is almost the same song, It's
right.
kind of interesting how the Scorpions always followed. Every time I released an album, the Scorpions wrote something similar. But the point is that when I got the Scorpion wanted to keep me, and they didn't like the fact that I couldn't stay. I had just left UFO. Why would I go the same road again? I didn't want to do it. I had my own vision. I needed to get stuff out of my system, and I did not want to be in the commercial money-making gobble machine. I wanted to have fun with music, and so I wasn't interested in what they were after and running for. And so I kind of got free from that. I struggled myself free because it was hard for them to let me go. And so by the time I came to England, the album wasn't released yet. So I never looked back. I was happy I escaped from the Scorpions. And but in 2015, they approached me to help them with a Love Tribe box set. And I wrote the Love Tribe story. And it was a total false. And
That's
I
awesome.
was really annoyed about that. And I said, you know what, guys? You can't do that by yourself. I'm not going to take this is all a lie, and I'm not going to participate with you guys. And that opened the can of worms. What I have discovered since then is unbelievable. Then you have to remember, I had Herman and Francis from the rhythm section on the Scorpions with me for 4 years.
Right.
So I know a lot. I discovered a lot, and it doesn't stop. It almost more comes to the foreground. So anyway, so now that they knew that that I was gone already, and the album wasn't released yet. So Rudolph had a plan. He wanted to create an illusion, a distortion, because everybody expected, a Schenker to come over there, and a Michael Schenker, but not necessarily knows all the names. Everybody. There is even though UFO was very famous, but sometimes I love a band, but I don't know any members in the band,
Right.
In the past, I don't know the individuals except for the Beatles, So, so I had a contract, a 6-member. When I saw the false love track story, and I saw that there was no picture, which was, to be a 6-member, everything equal, there should have been a picture in there, then my compositions, Rudolph asked me if I would give him my part of the composition of Coast to Coast, and I gave it to him. Therefore, my name is not mentioned as a songwriter. And the beginning of Holiday, which is 45 seconds long, which sets the song up beautifully, is not even mentioned. So there is also no songwriting credits there. Okay, now Rudolph asked me if he can play the black and white Flying V as well. Okay, so I let him do all of that stuff, But today I know exactly what he did. He confused the people. The picture was gone. There was as little Michael Schenker as possible on there. And then they only used Michael Schenker a lot if it was necessary. But if it was possible without, then they didn't use it at all. And so the people, when they received the Love Drive album, there was a Schenker there. There was a black and white guitar there. Later he had blonde hair. So people didn't know anymore what was going on. So actually people didn't think there was anything wrong. And basically, on my expense, Rudolph distorted my image, because my image was the black and white Flying V. And, and whatever I did with the Flying V,
Right.
It was kind of really, really bad. Now here's the point, why is it? And so the album cover of Revelation is all about my middle years. And the middle years is that I got slandered, trashed. And, if we can't have him, nobody will. And also the business side, the business people, because they wanted to make a lot of money with me, and I wasn't interested. I wanted just to have fun with music. And so everybody started hating me, torturing me. I was invited on stage with 2 other famous people to jam. I was given a completely out-of-tune loose string guitar in front of thousands of people, humiliating me, making a fool out of me. And what I don't understand is, what is the problem? What happened to the thank you, Michael, for helping out of this pit and creating this bridge to break into America and get a chance, to continue to the next level? What about that? Nothing. So instead, I got trashed, slandered, and false stories, but I did not know that all of that was going on, because in the middle years I was not focusing on the scene. I was in my own life. I was focusing on my, escaping out of my own boxes and making breakthrough programs and developing as a Michael Schenker, and I actually ended up becoming a 3-dimensional Michael Schenker. So, and because of that, I lost my stage fright. And in 2008, something said to me, "Michael, you want to be on stage now?" And I went, "What? What is going on here?" Okay, I take it as a sign. So then, in the speed of light, I developed all the way up to the Michael Schenker Fest and up to today. But the thing is, it's like, you have to imagine. Like, can you imagine? I would have not, joined the Scorpions, or let's say I would have not. What would have happened to the Scorpions? Let's say I would have never found the Scorpions Uli John Roth.
Right.
When I joined UFO, what would have happened to the Scorpions? What would have happened to the Scorpions if I hadn't joined UFO, taking them with me, on the international level,
right,
step by step, and then using us as a role model, you know, copying everything we did because we were progressing with every album. And so what would have happened, and you know, having stickers, you know, featuring Michael Schenker of UFO and all of that kind of stuff helped the Scorpions to develop, you know, and get recognized, because I got very recognized because I was already, as a 15-year-old, internationally known, because I was an unusual talent at that age. And so, and then together with Klaus, you know, it was kind of a good combination.
Right.
But what would have happened if I had, you know, not left UFO? What would have happened to Love Drive? There would have been no Love Drive. What would have happened to the Scorpions? What would have done? What would have happened, you know? And so you can go like that. So, boys, wake up. You know, don't focus on what you can't get and get nasty and you know, and get blinded and have the wrong end of the stick and you know, and forget what the good things in life, you know, and focus on what actually the steps that led to success, you know, rather than what you can't get, you know, like Caesar, you know, he was greedy, he couldn't get enough, and you know, he was the opposite of if you conquer yourself, you conquer more than the one who conquers the world. He wanted to conquer the world. He was corrupted, you know, and then he killed that boy he was envy of, jealous of, that people were talking about, that man, and because he couldn't get enough, he was blinded, he was gone, you know, gone, absolutely gone. And when you're gone, you don't notice anymore, you know, the goodness and the things, you know, that happened to you when you were, you know, younger and maybe, you know, and stuff like that. So to acknowledge something and say thank you, I have noticed today that people who are desperate and are under any price, you know, become part of the rat race, they are blind. They don't see anything. They don't see any goodness. They only see people who are in their way. And that is very sad, you know. And so anyway, having said that, I always supported Rudolph. I could never really understand how he was able to be so successful with so little, you know, with so little. You know, he's not a guitarist, you know. He's just a guitarist, and so, you know. But he copied my, you know, he made Holiday his song, and he made Coast to Coast his song. He learned it very well and presented it for the next 30, 40 years, so people throughout the world, there must be something in Rudolph, you know. But there isn't anything, you know. So basically, I got very, very, you know, like, it was very disgraceful, and, you know, and I kind of jump-started them when with Lonesome Crow, I jump-started them with Love Drive. I also jump-started UFO with Phenomenon, and I jump-started them with the Walk on Water.
Absolutely.
And I had 50% of the name UFO. Okay, and one day Phil asked, you know, he said like, "Hey Michael, I need the name back. I need to work. I need to earn money." I said, "You know, Phil, you can have that name back for free." Do you think he said thank you? No. I mean, I went like, "This is incredible. What is wrong with these people?" I mean, it's unbelievable. What on earth are they after? So, you know. But it's pretty kind of, at my age now, that's why Revelation, so many things are being revealed to me that are just absolutely upside down, you know. And I hope that some people, I hope life is for learning and developing and understanding things, you know. I hope something good comes out of this. But, you know, anyway, the main thing is I used my middle years to focus on getting everything out of my system. As a result, I got fulfillment out of it. You know, I have done everything I wanted to do. I stayed true to myself. There's a saying: if you're true to yourself, everything else will be added onto you and more. And that's exactly what's happening.
Fantastic.
I have created a cake in my middle years, a foundation. And today I get a lot of icing I can put on my cake. If I would have tried Aussie, I probably would have had a lot of icing, but no cake. and that would have been, you know, not so tasty, you know.
Right.
A cake with icing on it is a much better situation. So, anyway, in 2008, I kind of went, you know, when I realized that I actually was ready to have fun on stage, I went like, man, this is unbelievable. I can't believe that could ever happen, you know. I was so happy about it.
Right.
And so I started to write In the Midst of Beauty with Gary, and then, you know, it was a great album. It didn't, from sound, the sound, it was done on an Otari, like a cheap kind of something, but the music itself was very good. And I went I did the first Temple of Rock, and then I had Herman and Francis with me doing Bridge the Gap, Michael Schenker Temple of Rock, and Still, and then this Michael Schenker Temple of Rock, 2 live DVD CDs, and then I said, like, you know, we need a break. We are playing the same cities all the time.
Right.
It's like we want to make sure we're not getting, you know, people getting too used to us, and so. And then at the same time, I also realized, you know, when everybody went their way, I went like, wait a minute, I haven't played Michael Schenker. I have played Michael Schenker's most popular music for so many years, but not with the original singers, not with the original composers and the original chemistry, you know.
Right.
So I went like, wait a minute, maybe, I mean, Klaus and Phil may be far-fetched, you know, but maybe the 80s, like Robin and you know, Graham and Gary, maybe, you know, maybe that would be possible. And so, you know, I called them up, and it was like they were waiting for me, you know.
That's awesome.
They were on board immediately, and the same with the musicians, and we put a really good bunch of musicians together that make total sense over the period of the 10 years. And by that time, I also had developed a really good working relationship with co-producer Michael Fox, and so we were ready for Michael Schenker Fest, an unusual undertaking. And we started off, you know, in Sweden Rock, you know, very slowly, no pressure. We did another festival somewhere, another one, and then we had an offer to play a few gigs in Japan. And when I saw the Tokyo, the Forum, the whole,
right,
like, such a beautiful place, I decided to invest myself. I didn't even have a conversation with anybody. I just said to my son, you know, get the film crew, get everybody. I pay for this, you know. I will deal with the rest later. And so I edited, and then for the first time, the whole world was able to see the 3 singers, you know, together on stage. And for the first, instead of through the iPhone and the YouTube, you know, there was actually a really good DVD available now that for the first time showed everybody what the potential of this undertaking was. And
right.
Then, of course, the record deals came in, and I didn't really want to take a record deal. People had to work on me for 3 weeks, but I said to myself, you know, Michael, you have changed, you know, you're not the Michael you used to be, and you have 4 singers now. I think you need some help, you know, you need a proper record company. So I decided to put both of my legs back into the machine, and, you know, to carry on where I had put on hold, you know, when I left UFO. So basically, all of the 80s, you know, I put everything on hold and focused on myself, and then, you know, in 2008 with In the Midst of Beauty, I started carrying on. You know, basically, I always say, like, I carry on today. I carry on consciously what I unconsciously developed in my first part. I now carry on and enjoy consciously and you know, keep developing it and carry on and have actually fun with it now. And so that was basically the beginning of, that's when I said Michael Schenker Fest in the studio. I like that album title. It sounded like fun. And, you know, a big table in the middle of a room, and in the studio, in the background, the control room,
right.
And, you know, have a big feast in the studio with the and maybe even like a medieval kind of. But anyway, the idea was to have a big table in the room with lots of lamb and beef and, you know, like big feast and Hofbräuhaus,
right.
A woman with big bosom serving the beer and everything. I wanted to have a real party in the room and call it
That's awesome.
in the studio.
Right.
And, you know, that I thought was a fun idea. Then I asked, you know, can you send me maybe send me a picture of the table and stuff on it so we can start arranging the look of it. And then what I received was the Last Supper. I was like, wow, what is this? I think by that time Nicolas Glass' art department had already gone forward and they already had developed some kind of ideas. And because of that also, I think, seeing the progress of the development of the album cover, I think Doogie White got inspired to write Take Me to the Church, and then Michael Voss wrote The Last Supper, and then I thought, well, I might as well call the album Resurrection and call the instrumental Salvation. And that was it, you know, and that's how that came together. And then for the Salvation, for the Revelation album, Nicolas Glass asked me, I had 3 ideas. They had 3 ideas, and I had one scribble from 3 years ago to do, you know, after the Scorpions box set, and I saw the Love Drive story being a total lie. I kind of scribbled that's because that's when my realization started, what was wrong here and what has been wrong for the last 30 years, and I didn't even know about. And so I kind of, you know, opened the can of worms with that and realized all these different. I was always wondering why things were so weird. But I never thought that, but now it all made sense, you know. I was basically constantly being set up by people. And so anyway, I had this scribble with me hanging on the flying V, being tortured, you know, being humiliated, being cursed with my V. You know, my image got distorted. I got slandered, trashed, and basically, you name it. In my middle years, all of that went on. You know,
right?
And so basically, I thought that would be a good one picture tells all. The album could have been called Purity and Passion versus Greed and Corruption, you know, and so that's what the album cover is about. That's why I put the Romans in there, and you know, the just to make it easier for people to understand that this is about the 2 ways of living. You know, either you live a you know, honest, pure life, or you know, not perfectly, of course, you know.
Right.
Either you tend more on the pure side, or you tend more on the corrupted side, you know. So that's up to each individual or whatever. And but it cannot be done perfectly, of course. But the main thing is that the description of the album cover is basically I'm not being crucified. I'm hanging on strings, and I'm just being tortured and cursed together with my guitar, and you know, and I basically kind of the band is in the making. You know,
right.
You can see the musicians are walking towards the flying V, being very shocked by what they see, etc.
Right.
And you know, and the happy ending is, you know, I get freed from the V, you know, and create the Michael Schenker Fest, and basically we you know, purity and passion has won against greed and corruption, because you know, those guys, greed and corruption, you know, who always just live off a trend that makes money and recycle a trend until it's dead. And then when nothing is left, then they start writing a fiction book and write any kind of shit in there that people want to hear. And, you know, people getting fooled, feel sorry for them. But, you know, but I guess after 50 years of rock music, some people might have been able to look through this and, you know, like cheeky things, like bold, cheeky, stupid things like, you know, last, you know, February tour and then forever and another day, you know, that basically means like, you know, I give a shit about your family. I don't give a shit about you, you know.
Right.
I'm just going to use you the way I want, you know. When people say something like that, it's really bad. And no respect for the audience and just screwing around. And I tell you, you know, fame and success is poison. If you have no foundation, you get poised. You know, you get poised very, very quickly. People who make it very early, very quick, they get poised. They don't know what to do with it, you know. And it's a very dangerous, and it's also an addiction. And if you have been famous for 40 years, you know, they get worse and worse. And at the end of the day, you develop a Munchausen disease with all the wrong stories. So basically, that is my middle years, and I came out of it, and I became, I came off the guitar and became much, and you know, I'm well, and became a bigger person, you know, full of life, and create music on a level that is rarely happening on this planet. You know, with 4 singers and even 5 singers on this album, Ronnie Romero, which happened by accident.
Right.
Because, you know, Ted McKenna died on the 19th of January, and he was scheduled for the recording for the 24th of February in Frankfurt. And, you know, we got so... you know, it was so hard to deal with that, and because also the way he died, you know, was a very, very sad way to go.
Right.
It was horrible when I found out details about it. But you know, I started in the studio at the beginning of November, and we finished on the end of March. You know, so that was 6-7 months. You know, I said to Nuclear Blast, we had one commitment with the. You know, to do we did the Resurrection Tour Part 1 in 2018, and then we got talked into doing Resurrection Part 2 in 2019, April. So, you know, now that Ted McKenna being dead, I said to the band, look, Ted McKenna is watching, he wants us to keep going, come on, we have to be positive.
Right.
I talked to Ted on that Resurrection Tour Part 2, every day with the audience, you know, for a few minutes, you know, and I really had a conversation with him in front of the audience every night, you know, and to make him there, to make him be there, and make us feel part of it, and especially for Chris, because Chris was very close with Ted, you know, and Ted was such a great guy.
Right.
And anyway, you know, now I had also many ideas about guest musicians and all of that. I said to Michael Foss, the co-producer, you know what, we have to scrap the guest ideas, because even though we are halfway through the album, you know, we still have quite a bit to do. And so we need to figure out, you know, like how to play bloody 45 songs for one drummer. How is that possible? You know, 32 songs for the tour on the 15th of April, Resurrection Tour number 2. And then 13 songs for the album. So we decided to call up Simon Phillips, who was very happy to do the album, but he was not available for touring. And then Bodo Schopf also, and Simon Phillips' family member, you know, played with the first Michael Schenker group. He used to play with Jeff Beck and Toto and The Who and everybody. So he's a fantastic drummer.
Oh, yeah, he's amazing.
And, when he finished, he texted Michael Foss and said please tell Michael Schenker, fucking great!
That's awesome.
You know, and the head of Nuclear Blast in Germany, he wrote me a personal email and wrote me how much in love he is with the album. So that was a really, really nice touch from those guys, you know, to give us that kind of compliment. And so, you know, but we have to figure out, and of course, now having 2 drummers to deal with, of course, that open all possibilities to make everything possible, you know.
Right.
And so we decided that Simon plays 10 songs on the album, Bodo played 3 songs on the album, I took Bodo with me to the UK every 3 minutes, and we rehearsed the heck out of the set, 32 songs. You know, whenever I could, just Bodo and me, Bodo and me. It's not so much, it's the arrangements, you know, the beginnings and the endings. That's the hard part, to remember all of that in a 2.5 to almost sometimes 3 hour show. And, but anyway, so we carried on, and Simon did a bloody great job. So did Bodo on the album, the 3 songs that he did. Fantastic. And Bodo was really good, very well prepared for the live rehearsal, and so I was very happy. You know, we ended up with then we came, and then of course I wanted to have, you know, I loved that the Resurrection album when the second song I put on the table. When I came the music, I only write the music, and so when I came back from the hotel the next day, Michael said to me, "Here, this is what I did. I wrote some melodies and some vocals, some lyrics, and he played me Warrior." And I was like, "Mike, this is fantastic!" You know, I was so happy. Because it happened so early. You know, we had so much time to get that song ready as our first, you know, presentation, and so, you know, and then the way he delegated the single lines for each different singer, fantastic. And then he did the same with the Last Supper, and so obviously, and because it's so much fun to guess when the different singers come in, you know, to guess, oh yeah, that's Robin, and you know, and I talked to some fans, they love that kind of. You know, the different voices coming in, especially if you hear it without the video, and you kind of have to figure out who is singing. And so it becomes like an entertainment in itself. And so I wanted like 4 songs this time to do it like that. But we ended up with 3, and the 4th one actually we didn't realize it was a double bass drum song. And so we only did mid-tempos like that, you know. And Michael Foss said, you know what, before we get into the pits, you know, and try to make this work, let's just, I work with this guy, he sings for Richie Blackmore's name is Ronnie Romero. I asked him, I said, that would be great, you know. And so he asked him, and Ronnie was more than happy, you know. They went straight to work, and he did a fantastic job, you know. It's an unusual song, it's a complete different voice than the rest of the guys, and added another dimension, you know, to the album. And so at the end of the day, you know, we started in November, we finished by the 28th, the master was given to Nuclear Blast by the 31st, we had an international listening party with international press. One guy said, you know, the Resurrection album makes me happy, but this Revelation album, I want a party, you know, so that was kind of an interesting comment. And so anyway, we had very good response from the press. We ended up in Los Angeles making 2 videos, and we were on stage on the 15th of April and did our first show. Man, what a journey that was.
That's amazing. That's incredible.
But it seems like every time, you know, the last 3 albums, every time I make an album, then we have to deal with some challenges, like on Spirit on a Mission. Somebody broke into the studio and stole 5 guitars and half of the music, and we had to redo things, you know. And I looked at it as, okay, let's look at it as a pre-production, you know. The album's going to get better. And so, but you know, that was a smack in the face. And the next day, the Scorpions manager died, and the next day, Ruler's birthday, you know.
Right.
And so anyway, on this album, on the Resurrection album, I was throughout the whole songwriting period. And the recording, I had an affected tooth, and I had a big round cheek and pain like hell.
Oh, shit.
You know? and I don't know, maybe it does something to you. Maybe it gives you more energy. I don't know. But, you know, and this time, we had our dear friend and great drummer, Ted McKenna, passing away, and then Paul Raymond on top of it, you know. Unbelievable. But, you know, it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse, you know. More people getting older.
Sure.
Known people, you know. And but somehow, for me, I look at it this way, you know. When Paul and Ted passed away, I kind of looked at it, you know, like they paving the bridge to the other side for me, you know. It feels like I'm guys, see you later, guys.
Right.
You know, when my departure comes, you know what I mean? It's
Sure.
like, I see you later. I see you later, you know. It's probably just a blink of an eye anyway. And so, anyway, that kind of takes the edge of dying away a bit, you know.
Indeed,
but
indeed.
It's still a bummer, you know. It's not a good thought, you know, having to leave, but it has to happen, you know. I mean, nobody asks us when we come here, and nobody will ask us when we want to go. So it's all just going to happen.
That's exactly right, and you never know. It seems like people just disappear, you know. But
yeah,
Michael, this has been an absolute honor talking to you today. Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, that's the most. You have a fascinating life. You literally have been one of my heroes since I was a child. My first album was the Perfect Timing record, and I just want to tell you how much that record still means to me.
That's interesting because, you know, I realized that I speak to different interviewers, and I'm realizing that we have actually many generations as fans. Some of them don't even know UFO, or some of them don't even know the LSG with Gary Barden. And you are started. Quite a few people actually started with Macaulay Schenker group, you know, and it's interesting because these are all different generations. So UFO 10 years, and then the 80s 10 years, and then the 90s, and then now Temple of Rock and Michael Schenker Fest. So you get a very big spectrum of newcomers involved too, you know, and so it's interesting.
I'm serious, that record changed my life, and my uncle was a huge fan. I lost him back in 2005, but he was a huge UFO fan, and, you know, I remember hearing Strangers in the Night, the live album, when I was a child, and, you know, he was a huge fan, and like I said, my first record was the Perfect Timing record, and it's still very near and dear to my heart. I love that record. And
that's amazing, you know. Maybe we end up like the Rolling Stones, getting like 5 generations going to come to see us in 5 years.
Yeah, that would be incredible. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But hey, thank you so much for sharing with us. It's been an absolute honor.
Thank you very much.
The new album is available September 20th, Michael Schenker Fest through Nuclear Blast Records, Revelations. It's been an absolute honor, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. And take care, and see you soon.
Definitely. Take care.
Next tour.
Awesome. Thank you, Michael. Definitely.
Okay,
take care.
You can